Hello and a very warm welcome to a brand new edition of Colours of India, bringing you cultural festivities and celebrations from across the country. I'm your host, Frank Pereira. First up, let's take a look at what's lined up in the program today. Special Rakhis and other handmade products by people with disabilities. An evening of music and dance. A modern retelling of a play, The Merchant of Venice. Raksha Bandhan, a festival that celebrates the bond of a brother and a sister, has a certain sense of warmth in everyone's hearts. We'll start today's show with a group of people who make the festival even more special. Prabhat, a society for child development, conducts workshops for differently abled children, and this time the simple beauty of the Rakhi was at the center of it. Let's take a look.
प्यारे मुन्ना, इस दुनिया में तुम्हारा स्वागत है। ये बहुत ही सुंदर, अनोखी और प्यारी जगह है और तुम्हें इसे और भी सुंदर और भी प्यारी बनाने के लिए भेजा गया है। हम सबके पास एक सीमित समय होता है और जितना भी हो कम ही होता है। इस दुनिया में इतना कुछ है देखने को, जानने को, महसूस करने को कि तुम्हारे पास थोड़ा भी वक्त नहीं है बर्बाद करने को।
The group looks at turning trash into cash, alongside all the other human benefits of the exercise. Prabhat, a society for child development, is a livelihood program where all the products are made by people with disabilities. They go to great lengths to collect the garbage supplied by temples, hotels, newspaper vendors, organizations, even the Delhi Metro, transforming the stuff into objects of beauty and brilliance.
The initiative is to provide adequate and appropriate opportunities to people with disabilities to lead their life in as normal a way as possible. So often there is a lot of attention which is focused on the young child, trying to provide them with educational facilities. So important, no doubt about that. But what happens after the 18 years of age are crossed? There is no opportunity for skill development or for income generation. And the larger years of life are actually adulthood. We live at least 40-50 years minimum. In today's day, even more. And the childhood period is only 18 years. Our focus is on both. We work both with children as well as with adults and try to have a seamless transition from childhood to adulthood, and from skill and learning and education to income generation and inclusion.
And the Rakhi is the present flavor. The production team, themselves physically challenged people, take the floor, directing everything from cutting to twirling to finishing processes. The Rakhi band made with newspaper, strips braided and entwined to professional perfection. On to making the Rakhis themselves. Nets of different colors are transformed into variety of designs. At every step, innovation and creativity is key. Also in tune with the season, colorful umbrellas made from recycled paper. The Skill Development Center, initiated in 1999, serves as a transition point between education and occupation. The focus is on developing marketable income, generating skills to make a place in society.
How do we make all the things? So what we do is we recycle and recreate, reconstruct and make interesting things out of nothing. So all our Rakhis this time were made from very interesting material, from paper, from newspaper, from the backs of stickers, from metro banners and tailoring waste, and we created our Rakhis from those.
Here's another project the group recently completed. It's so aptly titled Avakayam, meaning flowers in Sanskrit. Every day, the group collects flowers directly from temples, hotels and other places, converting these waste flowers into products like incense sticks. The project also serves the motive of cleanliness, making our roads and water bodies clean. Every day of the year, flowers are collected directly from temples, hotels and other places to convert the waste flowers into new products like these incense sticks. The Avakayam program is an income generating platform for persons with disabilities besides being a movement of environment conservation.
ये फ्लावर्स मिला के और भी अन्य चीज़ों को मिलाकर इसको आटे की तरह मतलब गूंद के फिर इसको बनाते हैं, डंडी पे रख के फिर ऐसे ऐसे मतलब ये रोल करो। जब हम शुरू में आते हैं तो भाई हमें भी लगता है कि यानी हमें ये चीज़ कैसे करना है, तो मतलब यहाँ पे जैसे जो साइटर्स हैं और सब यानी मिलकर जैसे बताते हैं ये चीज़ ऐसे ऐसे करो, जैसे कपड़े सिलने हो गए या जैसे कुर्सी बनाना हो गया, और अगरबत्ती भी जैसे बनाना है तो वो भी मतलब हाथ से बताते हैं ना, इसको लकड़ी के ऊपर रखो, इसके बाद ऐसे बनाओ। इसी तरह कुर्सी को भी बनाना बताते हैं। और जैसे सिलाई भी होती है, सिलाई पे भी मशीन जो होती है उसके अंदर कपड़े रख के उसके बाद उसको दबा के प्रेस करके मतलब फिर वही जो भी हो उसको घुमाना पड़ता है यूँ करके, इसी तरह से मतलब सिखाते हैं।
One man's trash is another man's treasure, goes the saying, and these people prove it. Their delight in the transformation is the winner in the end. Celebration requires no decked up hall, no loud music, but just the passion to celebrate. Enjoying the festival in their own simple and unique way through the making of different products is much appreciable. With camera person Rajesh Agrawal, Ravleen Kaur for Rajya Sabha Television.
This initiative promises to go a long way, not just in serving the environment, but changing the lives as well. Let's step into a short break now, but we'll be right back. Coming up ahead, an evening of classical music and dance. Welcome back. You're watching Colors of India on Rajya Sabha Television. Exponents of Indian classical music and dance, greats who have made a mark in their practice and skill, hold a very special place in our cultural heritage. Institutions of art around the country take special pride in converting the special days of these legends into a celebration of their art. Here's one such occasion, turned into a festival of music and dance.
A gathering of music enthusiasts as well as connoisseurs from around the country, coming together on a single platform for the scintillating annual Parampara Sangeet Mahotsav. Literally a festival of traditional musical lore and showcasing some of India's biggest talents in the instrumental genre. Pandit Rajendra Prasanna, among the greatest flautists of the Banaras Gharana, enthralled audiences with the performance. Prasanna has won numerous national and international awards around the world as a flautist and sitarist, creating an indelible mark in the field of Indian classical music. Accompanying him, his son Rajesh on the flute and Abhishek Mishra on the tabla. Pandit Prasanna's rendition of Rag Saraswati left the audience mesmerized.
मेरा मेन गायकी स्टाइल है बजाने का, तो विलंबित एक ताल, द्रुत तीन ताल में बंदिश और जोड़ झाला जितनी भी चीज़ें हैं वो सब ख्याल अंग में ही होता है सारा कुछ.
Another big draw was a sitar cello duet by Shubhendra Rao and Saskia Rao Dihas. The duo presented Rag Behag and Hemavati.
Our music heritage is an ocean, and in our one lifetime perhaps we can just see one or two drops of it. So to be able to explore and to be able to get the joy, to be able to share that joy for one lifetime is really too little.
At some point, we stop worrying about where a music comes from, but it's just about expressing what you have to say musically. So that happens to me, for me, in Indian classical music, even if I was born somewhere else. So it's about expressing yourself, music, in the end.
The captivating melodious conversation between the sitar and the cello was rhythmically harmonized on the tabla by Debashish Adhikari. A brilliant blending, creating a magic only music is capable of.
A bastion of traditional arts, the Umak Centre for Culture carries a valuable service of keeping the Indian tradition alive and passing it on to generations of young students. We'll head into a short break here. Lots coming up on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Up next, a modern retelling of Shakespeare's work, The Merchant of Venice, and an exhibition on the costumes of Bharatnatyam. Welcome back. Imagine the world of Warren Buffett or the city of Las Vegas or Manhattan all rolled into one. In this segment, we take you to the world of business, a royal gamble and generosity. Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice transcends time and changing civilization to strike at the roots of human thinking. A recent enactment in the capital enthralled as much as it would have 350 years ago. Let's take a look.
Equal pound of your fair flesh to be cut off and taken in what part of your body pleaseth me.
Shylock's dramatic monologue from The Merchant of Venice, famously demanding his pound of flesh.
Content in faith.
Tribute enough that this fictional pound of flesh moment is today a symbolic part of the language.
In the Jew.
You shall not seal to such a bond from me. I'll rather dwell in my necessity.
Why fear not, man? I will not forfeit it within these 2 months.
The Merchant of Venice remains among the bard's most enduring works, more politically and socially relevant today than ever before.
Whose own hard dealings teaches them suspect the thoughts of
any play and at any time William Shakespeare is always a welcome, because nowadays you see that the children are just out of touch with reading, and because they feel it's too time consuming, they should get back to reading, number one. And these plays would bring back our old English back also, and better English, I would say.
Mislike me not for my complexion,
The staging of Shakespearean masterpiece in New Delhi was about transporting the audience into the heady world of bars and boys, cocktails and casinos, money deals, romance and rivalry.
And let us make incision for your love to prove whose blood is reddest, his.
Let's turn for a minute to the story itself.
Who's there? Huh? Hey, Signor Antonio. Hi-fi, Graciano. Where are all the rest?
Quite apart from the name, the play starts with Bassanio, a young Venetian who needs money to woo Portia, a wealthy Belmont heiress.
I'm glad on it. Oh.
Bassanio asks his friend Antonio. Antonio, a wealthy ship merchant, is out of funds at the time.
Then meet me forthwith at the notary's.
So he goes to villainous Jewish merchant Shylock. And so the bond is made, return my money in time or pay a pound of flesh.
Hie thee, gentle Jew.
Meanwhile, in Belmont, the rich heiress Portia must marry the man chooses the right cassette.
The first of gold, who this inscription bears, who chooseth me shall get what many men desire. A second, silver, which this promise carries, who chooseth me.
Suitors come from far and wide until Bassanio plays his hand, but consummation of their love depends on his choosing the right casket.
Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath.
Soon after, his vote events take an unexpected turn. Antonio's fleet is shipwrecked.
Wrecked on the narrow seas.
Shylock refuses to let go of the past and insists on his pound of flesh.
I, for my part, knew the tailor that made the wings she flew withal.
And Shylock, for his own part, knew the bird was fledged.
In the end, it's left to Portia to outwit the Jew and save the merchant.
3,000 ducats.
What? No more?
I think it's very good. And I prefer the second half is really good. Very nice play and really enjoyed it also.
The Duke shall grant me justice. I do wonder, thou naughty jailer, that thou art so fond to come abroad with him at his request.
I pray thee, hear me speak.
I have my bond, I will not hear thee speak.
The play is a satire on society then and now, a dark twisted comedy with a dramatic climax with a confused love triangle at its core. The production by Mass Theatre does brilliant justice to Shakespeare's work.
Christian intercessors, follow not. I'll have no speaking. I will have my bond.
Moving on now, as much as expression and movement, very much at the center of classical Indian dance is the costume. Here's a very special exhibition by a veteran dancers showcasing a vast array of Bharatnatyam outfits and attires used by her personally.
It's about linking dance aesthetics and sociology to narrate a story through familiar and unfamiliar imagery. The collection is titled When the Pleats Dance. Costumes worn personally by legendary dance host Padma Shri Geeta Chandran have been curated for the event by her designer.
When the Pleats Dance is a very unique exhibition of 40 years of Geeta Chandran's commitment to dance. And in this journey, I have tried to showcase 4 decades of costuming for her, with her understanding of the dance form and my understanding of the costumes. The blend and the partnership is what you see in this exhibition. See, costume is not like fashion that you sit on your drawing board and make one style that you want to make. It's not like that. You have to understand the dance form. You have to understand what the dancer is, You have to understand what she's trying to say. She'll discuss, the dancer will call you, she'll discuss her theme with you, she'll tell you her brief, then you sit through the rehearsals. You watch the rehearsals of what they are doing, how they are doing, what are the movements they are making, what is it that you want to get from this, and then you go to the sketchboard and you start sketching out your ideas.
A stage performance, that moment when the dancer steps on stage, that's when a costume too comes to life. Its ability to set just the required tone is a moment of discovery, both for the dancer and the audience. That costume on stage originates in a discussion on the performance itself, the choreography and the flavor of the dance. From there to drawings and sketchings, and on to color stories, fabric samples, and finally pleats pressed into shape. According to the artist, the theme costume sets the mood of a performance. The identity adopted by the dancer is brought center stage through its magic.
The costume not only denotes the character that the dancer is portraying, but also it denotes the person, herself or himself. So I think the costume also moves. When the dancer moves, the costume also moves. The costume is a very integral part of the dancer, or even for us for that matter. So the manner in which you drape your sari or the manner in which you drape the dupatta shows a lot, denotes a lot about the person and the personality of the persons.
Dance jewelry adds a new dimension to the event, bringing alive the costumes, lending them a newer energy. When the pleats dance traces the evolution of Bharatnatyam dance costumes over 4 decades, and every drape and color and pattern tells a rich story, and is based on the personal collection of Geeta Chandran's costumes curated by designer Sandhya Raman.
The dancer's innovative choreography and desire to enhance her visual vocabulary and aesthetic construct throws further light on creative collaborations which form a compelling narrative to this novel display. That's all we have for you in this edition of Colors of India. I hope you enjoyed the show. This is Frank Pereira signing off. Bye-bye.